Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into some seriously wild space stuff?
I'm ready.
All right. Today we've got 5 discoveries that have scientists, like, totally baffled. I mean, they're rethinking what we thought we knew about space.
It's true. Each of these discoveries really does challenge our understanding of the cosmos. Like, it pushes the boundaries of what we thought was possible.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking like a potential hidden planet, a black hole that's on the move, and even a cosmic question mark in space.
Wait, a cosmic question mark?
Yep, you heard that right.
Whoa.
So let's kick things off with the hidden planet. It's called Planet 9.
Oh, yeah. Planet 9.
So imagine like this giant planet, but we can't even see it. And it's way out there, like past Neptune, messing with the orbits of other objects.
Yeah, that's kind of the current idea. Like, based on what we're seeing with the orbits of some objects in the Kuiper Belt.
Oh, you mean that icy region beyond Neptune? Wow.
Exactly. So their paths are all kind of wonky. And it's like something big is tugging on them. Scientists think it could be a planet. A huge one, too, like 5 to 10 times the mass of Earth.
Okay, so hold on. We haven't actually seen this Planet 9,
Yeah.
right? It's all just like a guess based on gravity.
Well, yeah. Like I said, it's really, really far away and super dim. So actually seeing it is like nearly impossible with our current technology.
Makes sense.
There are some other theories out there, like maybe it's a bunch of smaller objects all kind of working together to cause these weird orbits. But honestly, the Planet 9 idea fits the data best so far.
Wow, okay. So this planet, if it's real, could take like 10,000 years to orbit the sun?
Yep.
10,000 years.
It's mind-boggling.
It is. But isn't there a new telescope that might be able to see it?
You're talking about the Vera-C-Rubin Observatory. It's in Chile, and it's going to be scanning the whole sky like every few nights.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's going to be super sensitive to dim objects. So Planet 9, it might actually be able to spot it.
So this is like a big deal in the astronomy world.
Absolutely. Like, we might actually confirm whether this planet exists or rule it out entirely.
Wow, okay, I'll be waiting for that. So moving on, let's talk about a runaway black hole.
All right.
And I don't mean the kind that just sits in the center of a galaxy. Like, this one is zooming through space.
It's true. Astronomers actually saw this. There's a black hole with a trail of stars behind it.
Wait, a trail of stars.
Yeah. And it's massive, like 200,000 light years long. This black hole's moving crazy fast, like 4,500 times the speed of sound.
A black hole with a tail of stars. That's insane.
I know, right? So how did this happen? Well, the best guess is that there were 3 black holes, all interacting with each other. It probably happened during a galaxy merger. Imagine like a cosmic billiards game where the black holes are the balls.
Oh, yeah.
So all these gravitational forces could easily just fling one of those black holes out super fast.
So this is the first time we've ever seen a black hole, like, escape its galaxy.
Yeah, it could be. And now we're wondering, like, are there a bunch of these rogue black holes just out there wandering around? We have no idea.
Whoa. And what happens when they run into a galaxy or like a star system?
That's what we need to figure out. It could totally change things up.
Okay. So next up, we're going to go from runaway black holes to runaway planets. But they're called jumbos, and they were found by the James Webb Space Telescope.
Ah, yes. The Jumbos.
Out in the Orion Nebula. I love that name.
Yeah.
JMBO.
It's pretty catchy, right?
It is. Okay, so these JMBOs are road planets, meaning they don't orbit a star.
Exactly. And scientists think there could be trillions of them in our galaxy alone.
Trillions.
Trillions.
Okay, that's a lot. So what makes these JMBOs so special?
It's that they're in pairs. Like 2 Jupiter-sized planets just orbiting each other, but there's no star.
Really? That's so strange.
It is. It doesn't fit with how we think planets form.
Yeah, how does that even happen?
There are 2 main theories. One is that they formed directly from a gas cloud, just like stars, but on a smaller scale. The other is that they were part of a star system, but got kicked out.
Like that black hole.
Yeah, kinda. But the models say that's less likely to happen with planets, especially ones as big as JMBOs.
So for now, these JMBOs are a big mystery.
Yeah, a real head-scratcher.
Okay, let's move to our galaxy. The Milky Way. Right in the center, we find giant bubbles.
You got it. Giant bubbles.
So what's the deal with these bubbles?
They're called the Fermi bubbles and the Rosetta bubbles. And they're huge. Like, they extend 25,000 light years above and below the Milky Way's disk.
Wow, 25,000 light years? That's enormous. Why haven't we seen them before?
Because they're only visible in gamma rays and X-rays. We can't see those with our eyes.
I see. So what are these bubbles made of?
hot gas and high-energy particles called cosmic rays, and scientists think they were probably created by an explosion.
An explosion? What exploded?
Our galaxy's supermassive black hole. It probably had this massive outburst millions of years ago.
So our own black hole had a huge explosion. When did this happen?
About 2.6 million years ago, and it probably went on for over 100,000 years.
Okay. And it could happen again.
It's possible, and if it does, we'll get a spectacular show. But who knows what it would do to civilizations in the galaxy.
Okay. So before we start worrying about black holes exploding, we got to talk about our final space mystery. This one is totally bizarre. The James Webb Space Telescope spotted a giant question mark in space.
I know, isn't that crazy? It was just in the background of an image, like the universe is asking us a question.
It is?
Yeah.
What do you think it is?
Probably not aliens sending us a message.
I was hoping.
Me too! It's probably a distant galaxy. Or maybe two galaxies merging together.
Well, why a question mark?
It could be how the galaxies are pulling on each other with gravity. From our view, it just happens to look like a question mark.
Oh, I get it, but I still like the alien theory better.
Yeah, that would be more exciting.
Okay, so it sounds like we need to learn a lot more about this question mark.
Absolutely. We're just starting to analyze all the data from the James Webb Space Telescope.
Can't wait to see what else we find.
Me neither. It seems like every time we look deeper into space, we find more things we don't understand.
Okay, so before we move on, let's do a quick recap of all these crazy discoveries.
Okay.
First up, Planet 9, maybe a planet way out in our solar system. Then that runaway black hole with a trail of stars. And we've got the JMBOs, the rogue planets that are hanging out in pairs.
Right. And then there are those Fermi bubbles, giant bubbles coming from our galaxy's supermassive black hole.
Right. And of course, the cosmic question mark.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think? What's the most mind-blowing thing we've talked about today?
To me, it's that even in our own galaxy, our little corner of space, there is so much we still don't know. There are so many mysteries out there. It's amazing.
Totally. It's both humbling and super exciting. We're just starting to understand the universe.
Exactly. There's always more to learn.
That's the best part. Okay, let's take a quick break.
Sounds good.
We'll be right back with more about these amazing discoveries.
I can't wait. It really makes you think how much we still have to learn about space. Like all these discoveries, they're like puzzle pieces that don't quite fit.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of puzzles, that cosmic question mark.
Yeah.
Figuring out what it is like, what are some of the challenges there?
Well, distance is a big one. We don't know how far away this thing is, so it's hard to say how big it really is or what it's made of. We can tell it's pretty old, though.
Oh, yeah. How do we know that?
Well, it's red. And that usually means its light has been traveling for billions of years to reach us.
Whoa, so we're seeing it like it was billions of years ago.
Exactly. It's like a time machine.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
But if it's that far away, how can we even study it?
Well, that's where telescopes like the James Webb Space Telescope are so amazing. By looking at the light, we can figure out what it's made of, its temperature, even how it's moving.
So with more observations, we might actually solve this mystery. Okay, let's talk about those Fermi bubbles again. I mean, they're just massive. What are scientists still trying to figure out about them?
Well, a big question is how the energy from that black hole explosion got transferred to the gas in the bubbles. It probably involves magnetic fields, shock waves, and particles moving super fast.
So it's complicated.
It is, and we need to figure out the details.
Yeah.
Like, how did all of that affect the shape of the bubbles? And how are these bubbles affecting the galaxy around them?
Yeah, how are they affecting the galaxy?
Well, for one, they're full of those high-energy cosmic rays, and those can influence how stars and planets form.
Interesting.
And they can heat up and stir up all the gas and dust between stars.
So the bubbles aren't just sitting there, they're actually changing things.
Exactly. It shows that even seemingly empty space is full of crazy, powerful forces.
Okay, this is a lot to think about. A hidden planet, a runaway black hole, rogue planets in these giant bubbles, and of course, the cosmic question mark.
It's mind-boggling.
It is. There are just so many mysteries in space.
We've only scratched the surface. There's so much more out there.
It makes you feel small.
It does.
Yeah.
But also excited to learn more.
Totally. Okay, so you mentioned earlier that these discoveries make us rethink what we thought we knew. Can you give us an example?
Sure. So before we saw that runaway black hole, we thought supermassive black holes always stayed in the centers of galaxies.
Right, like they hold everything together.
Exactly. But now we see that they can move, and they can move fast.
So that changes everything.
It does. It makes us rethink how black holes affect galaxies. And it raises new questions, like how did this black hole get flung out in the first place? And what happens to it now?
Whoa, yeah. Okay, what about those JMBOs? How do they change our thinking about planets?
Well, we've never seen planets like that before. Two giant planets orbiting each other with no star.
Yeah. How is that even possible?
We don't know, but we need to figure it out.
This is what I love about science. There are always new things to discover and new questions to ask.
Exactly. It's a never-ending process.
Okay, so out of all these discoveries, what really fascinates you the most?
Well, they all have the potential to change how we understand the universe. But what's really cool is that they make us rethink some of the most basic things in astrophysics.
So they're like fundamental discoveries.
Exactly. They open up whole new areas of research.
That's amazing. All right, so before we wrap up, let's take a minute to think about what we've learned today and what these discoveries could mean for the future of space exploration. All right, so let's recap. We've got 5 pretty incredible discoveries here. We started with Planet 9, potentially hiding out in the outer solar system.
Right. And then we talked about that runaway black hole blazing through space with its trail of stars. That was wild.
Yeah, and then there were the GMBOs, those paired-up rogue planets that are just out there doing their own thing.
Don't forget the Fermi bubbles, those massive structures above and below our galaxy. Proof that our own black hole had a major outburst a long time ago.
Oh, yeah. And, of course, that cosmic question mark that the James Webb Telescope spotted. Probably merging galaxies, but who knows?
It is pretty amazing.
Okay, so why should people even care about this stuff? It seems kind of far out there, you know?
Well, I think it shows us that we don't have it all figured out. The universe is full of surprises, and it's constantly changing how we think about things.
I see what you mean. It's like all these discoveries are forcing us to come up with new ideas and new ways of looking at the universe.
Exactly. And the more we learn, the more we realize how much we still don't know.
That's true. I mean, just think about it. That new Vera C. Rubin Observatory could actually find Planet 9. And that would change everything about how we view our solar system.
Exactly. And as our telescopes get better, we can study those runaway black holes and those GMBOs and all those weird galaxies in more detail.
It's like every new discovery opens up a million more questions.
It really does.
This is what I love about space. It's always pushing us to explore and learn more.
And it inspires people to become scientists and engineers.
You got it. So for all of you listening out there, what's the one thing you want them to take away from today's deep dive?
Never stop being curious. The universe is full of amazing things, and it's waiting for us to discover them.
Well said. On that note, that's it for this deep dive into the mysteries of space. Keep looking up and keep those cosmic questions coming. Until next time.